Good afternoon. Welcome back to portfox.ai, and this is a reported project. Was originally named Jarvis, but I looked at it and went, everyone's doing Jarvis projects. Well, not that I still reckon that's right cool. And we even had the voice of the actor who played Jarvis working through it, which is really awesome. So you'd say, "Hey Jarvis," and he'd come back to you and say, "Yes, sir."
Of course.
Oh, there you go. He's still active in my desktop somewhere. Oh, you see, there he is. So he's still there, but his memory or his brain, the AI part of it's not turned on. I told him not to use it. Anyway, so we've reported him to Neurofox, neurology, yeah, mind, I guess, and memory, Fox, just part of the PortFox suite. That's just nerdy. Anyway, so if you haven't seen part one, go and have a look at part one. This is part two. I was having some issues. So the Mac Mini, the M4 that I've got connected via Thunderbolt 4, was struggling a little bit. Sorry, I say a lot. I apologise for that. I always say that. Anyway, so like I said, the Mac Mini was struggling a little bit. It was crunching. So the Mem5, which you're looking at the moment, was taking screenshots at a 10-second interval, and then it was sending it over the Thunderbolt to the M4. Then the M4 was crunching them using the Gemma 4 model, summarizing, and then sending it into a Chroma database. So it lives on the M4, not the M5. The M5 actually has a offline repository that it can store images, and then it can sync up to the M4 once it connects back up again, so it can auto sense the connection, and then come back online. So this works as a like I said, an auto sense, I guess. So it picks it up and goes, "Yep, happy days, let's go." Now I've introduced a Windows PC. I have my old flight simulator computer that I rebuilt, and it's now my AI server. So it's got so I've rebuilt it with a new motherboard, so to handle dual graphics cards. So one's an Intel Arc B50 12 gig, and the other one's a B60 24 gig. So it runs 30. Well, if you want to say 36, but it's not quite 36. I can split loads with using Python to say, okay, use specific cards, but not with LMStudio. You've got to use Llama 680p, I believe. Quote, if that's wrong, just let me know below. So it's now doing the crunching. Now the M4 still handles the brain, and it actually dedicates those images, so it detects the images and sends them off to the PC to be processed, and then pulls the information back, or the PC sends the information back to the memory and stores them in the Chroma database for me. Now we can see here, yeah, so it's crunching 3 files, which is pretty cool. So at one stage it was up over 1,000, and the Mac Mini was getting a little bit warm. I had to put this sensor on it. It was up around this sort of 90 degrees. Not that that's hot, but I've got a little 5-inch external fan that sits underneath it running, and even with that going, it was actually getting warm. And I didn't like the hardware being that warm, so I just basically said, no, okay, look, my PC's there. Again, I'll just use that because it's obviously it's way quicker at processing those smaller those images with that smaller model. Again, I could probably load it up with a faster model, but then it slows down. So a bit of a catch-22, and I don't want to use paid services because this is all about being free and what you can do with free stuff. So yeah, that was the main call on that. So that's just the vision model. Sorry, I should have explained that. It's not using Gemma, it's using just the quintuple high vision, so just vision. Whereas the Mac Mini can do other functions. So the other functions I've left idle for using the planner, task, and the chain. So the chain is you can ask it to do a series of coding operations using agents to actually build up code base and write code and all that, automate, to try and automate that part of it. And that's what, obviously, this is what it's all about, trying to automate code writing. So you can give it a task, a project, and say, hey, knock yourself stupid with this task, come back and tell me when you're finished. So, as well as the web UI, which we quickly showed you last time, we've got the TUI. So the TUI, not new, it's been around for a bit. This is just a dashboard. I've got to update the dashboard because it doesn't give me the PC, so I've got to sort that out as well. So if we Control C out of that little fella, there's NeuroFox's TUI, and the TUI has all these commands. So it's got your help, agents, queue, and so forth. So there's observer. So if we type in agents, there's an agent list. So it does our code generation, it'll do our architecture, and you can run these out or singular. So you can go architect, I want to design da 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 da, or you can go code gen, write me this, or you can just say you can just use chain. So the chain actually runs the whole suite, if that makes sense. Plan does the same thing, plan this, or schedule this. So you can do plan schedules and all sorts of things if you want to. I haven't quite moved on from the chain just yet, so the plan is to go to plan and to schedule and to Git. So I want a GitHub repository uploader so it can do its own Git repo, pushes and pulls and all that kind of stuff, so we'll get there as well. A few things to come. The observer, which is in my little status bar up here, he's running, so we've got observer running, so that's the screen capture. We've got the web server, which is what you can see, and you can open the web dashboard, the terminal dashboard, which you can see, and the projects folder, which lives there inside the project directory. So when you obviously create this stuff, you want to be able to get it. And next part will be Watcher. So what brought this project around was basically I want to use a local language model to capture and create a memory so I can recall it when I'm working to actually help me. So if I'm 6 months down the road and I've built something 6 months ago doing whatever process, I want to be able to go, hey, you're doing something similar you did 6 months ago. Do you want to use the same sort of code base, or would you like me to help you with this? That's what I wanted to do. So there'll be another service in here saying called Watcher, and when I go around to building that, it'll be doing all that cool stuff. Now, the task and planner, so plan and tasks are between UIs. I just haven't written in the chain yet. So the chain will actually, you can tell it to go chain generate a HTML file that tells me the history of MacBook Pros and format it in Bootstrap. It'll go away and actually build that file for you, and then it'll throw it into the projects folder, and where you can actually download that and run it up on a web server. But that's just basic stuff. You know, we want to start building .NET projects and PHP projects that are quite sophisticated. So, we're going to be using a bigger model because the 4 billion, as good as it is, I've got a funny feeling that it's not going to quite do what we want it to do when we get further into this. Yes, it's handling small tasks and it can create HTML files without too much of a problem. Although I did prove it before where I asked it to use Bootstrap and it just ignored me. So I don't know whether that's the model or it's just not enough explanation in the text. I've got to go and hammer out that process or that flow and work out if it was me who did the problem, or if it was the AI just not having enough information, or it's just the AI is not smart enough, because they talk about LLMs not being smart in that sort of lower billion models are quite dumb. So so part 2 is basically saying, look, I've split these off. I've got separate AI boxes doing separate things. I'm working on my TUI and my other tools. My web UI is coming along nicely. I've called it a bubble window. So actually, if I can just go, I'll give you a quick demo of that. So just chain generate a simple Python script that says hello. Now, once I execute this, you'll see it. There we go. So this alert will stay up on your task, on your screen, and just give you a little bit of a breakdown. Now, what I wanted to do is this orchestrator is thinking. So I'm going to put up here, you know, it's running through its loops. So, you know, 1 of 10 running, the 2 of 10 running, 3 of 10 running, 4 of 10 running, 5 of 10. And that way, so you can actually just minimize this out of the road and just keep that. So you can keep it in the corner and watch it when you're doing other things. And as you can see, the Mini is actually now doing its role. So it's taking on that task, that chain, and it's actually working through those lists of code agents we talked about previously. And it's running through that list. So code gen, code architect, DevOps, all that information. It's running through each one of those, and you know, check, making our file. So once it's finished, I can open up this projects folder. Oh, there we are. Hello world. See again. So this might be the model, or it could be me not explaining enough. I'm not too sure. So whether someone might have come across this and can leave a description, leave a comment down below and say, hey, yeah, it's the model, not playing nicely, or no, Steve, you idiot, you're not giving it the right enough information to give it its proper flow. So, but anyway, so that's that. Like I said, part 2. I'll come back with part 3. Like I said, part 3 is the watcher. We'll tie in the chain in here, and we'll start to polish up to sort of get more of a completed product. But yeah, without dwelling on more information, I'll wind this up. And like I said before in part 1, this is I'm just working on OS X at the moment, so I have plans to go to PC and Linux, but I just haven't got there yet. Most of these requirements in Python are across platform anyway, so it won't take much to bring it across to a PC base if someone wants it in PC, but I haven't actually got it up to the GitHub yet, so you can download it and use it. And that is me for part 2. Thanks for watching. Like I said, if you've got any suggestions or comments, please feel free to pop them in below. Thanks again. See you guys.